Getting a few things fired up here. Good morning. There we go. I had to get the iPad started up. Did everybody survive the great crash of yesterday? What's up, autism teacher? Welcome in. Plant dude, what's up? Did everybody survive the great crash of yesterday? How did everybody do yesterday? Did we survive? Plant Mama Bear, welcome in. Cat Cave, Pete Barton, welcome in. Canvas Prince, where have you been? All right, I sent out the bat signal. How's everybody doing today? What did you guys do yesterday when Whatnot was down? Ah! Sorry, my allergies are going. Thank you. Watch TV. I know. I took a nap. It was amazing. All right, guys. It is Winter Wolf. I was about to text you today to see what you were up to, but I know you were getting back from PlantCon. Guys, if you're new here, welcome in. I am Kimmy D. I am the owner. I know not many people know this, but I am the owner of Pullman House Botanicals. I sell plants in jars, plants in bags, and just about any plant in between. I also like to dabble into the vintage area. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. If you're new to plants in bags, all they are, I'm going to show you guys an example real quick. They're essentially baby seedlings grown in a lab in bags. It's just another form of propagation that I do. So, but Tuesday mornings, we usually do a talk show. We talk everything plants, tissue cultures, whatnot, and just about everything in between. So, it's an open chat. Feel free to share your thoughts, feelings, concerns, ideas, everything like that. So, as today's show was titled, What I Wish I Knew When I Started Whatnot. Let me unpin this real quick. So, if you guys feel comfortable sharing, drop in the chat what you wish you knew when you started Whatnot. Plants in bags. I could talk about that. So, all right. Plants in bags. Oh, that is a problem. So let's talk about the name. I think your name is awesome. So, everybody always asks me where my name came from. And I was like everybody else when I started out, and I was like so obsessed with the name. I'm like, I gotta have a good name. But I didn't want a name that pigeonholed me into one category, right? So I was talking with my little brother. He's my baby brother, even though he's like 30 now, and he always called me Kimmy since we've been young. So I was like, all right, we'll see how this works. My name is Kimmy D, and we'll see how that goes. What's up, Aerial Roots? Welcome in. So I start not to fertilize seedlings. That is on the topic for next time. What's up, Aerial Roots? I got it written down, Cat K. I do. Oh, Winterwolf is in my brain. All right. So I just stuck with the name Kimmy D it kind of took off. Everybody knows me as Kimmy D now, but it didn't pigeonhole me into one category, right? And that's one thing that I learned early on by watching a bunch of different people and stuff like that. I love plants. Like, don't get me wrong, I am a plant seller. But where I'm at in the Midwest, plants, tropical plants, annual plants, there is a season. We've been out of season for the last month and a half. Okay? So for me, I knew I needed to sell out of my plants by like last month or this month. But there are plants in the shop. If you guys take a look, the shop is loaded with what I currently have in stock. But that also led me to another issue uh, that is different on Whatnot versus like locally, right? Like locally, I know I could sell plants up to a month ago, no problem. But then I come on Whatnot, and it kind of gave, and I'll be honest with you, it gave me the false thought, not that it can't be done, but that I could sell banger plants every month over and over and over and over again, year round. Okay? How many of you in the plant, I mean, you don't have to be in the plant category, or are plant buyers and you're in people's shows and it's started to slow down, like for that particular person? So that presented me with an interesting thought of inventory management. That is one thing I wish I understood better when I started out selling plants on Whatnot. I know how to manage my inventory locally, but I fell into the trap of Whatnot's year round, which it is. You can sell plants year round. Um, but I didn't manage my inventory great like I normally would. So that's something I wish I learned early on as well. So that's how we'll start it. I'm gonna go back to Winterwolf real quick because Winterwolf brings up a really good. I'm looking at my iPad here. Shipping correctly. Oh man, I don't know anybody on here that doesn't wish they understood shipping correctly. Jamie, what's up? Brandy, welcome in. Karen, Buzz. And if you're on ghost mode, I see you guys. I see you guys. Appreciate you being here. I wish. Okay, here's the thing with shipping. Here's what I wish I knew. Winterwolf helped me out a ton in the beginning. I wish I would have read more. Okay, all the information is out there at help.whatnot.com. It is. It is. But I wish I would have read more. And I didn't know what to read or what to research until I was in non-plant category. It is. It is very vague. It is. But like a lot of the common questions we would get is how do you bundle packaging? There's a whole article on it. It doesn't get into like extreme detail, but it's there. No, oh, sorry, Synapses person. I wish I read more. I wish I got outside of my category more. I love my plant category, but I wish I would have got out of my category sooner because I learned so much by watching so many different people that I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin with that. Because it's like so much information, and I didn't know what I was looking for until I got outside of my category and started listening to like more seasoned sellers, but not just more seasoned sellers that did community meetings. Plant Noob, what is up? Plant Noob. Sorry guys, squirrel moment. I found a couple of the Pokemon things I have, I may send you a picture of, get your opinion on. If you want to. If you want to. I do. I wish I would have walked the whatnot streets, as they say, sooner. Okay? And shipping, look. Shipping is a beast. Shipping is a beast, but when you're starting out new, okay, when you're starting out new, don't change any of your settings. This is what I wish I would have done in the beginning. Don't change any of your settings. Run a couple shows, see how they sell, see how shipping works, and then start playing with your settings. Perfect example. You guys saw me run stickers, okay? Don't sticker shame me now. I love my stickers, okay? But what I did with those stickers is I not only sold stickers, but I did it on a scale and played with the shipping profile for like stickers, for example, to show me what I could do with bigger items or different items. So I'm not out like $40, $50 in shipping. I'm out like 74 cents if I made a mistake, right? So start small. That's what I'm saying. Start small. Don't jump into the deep end and not know how to swim. Okay? We're going to have to send the lifeguard in after you. Yeah, okay. Cross category posting. I figured, Canvas. I don't want to alienate you though. Cross category posting. Okay? When I started out, plants and garden was the only category I would be in. It didn't matter if I was doing like a TC acclamation show, an education show, a talk show, whatever. I was like, plants and garden, that's my category. But then I can't remember whose show I was in, but they were like, yeah, we have a whole community tab. I was like, community tab, what's that? Right? So I like started to go into the community For You page category, and there's like a whole bunch of people doing talk shows, courses, stuff like that, right? But here's the other kicker. There are like, I don't want to call them whatnot approved community hosts, but there are people on here that like specifically talk to whatnot and are part of the whatnot community host group. And those are the people you should be learning from. I've learned from a lot of great people, but when you get to a certain level and you're like, what, how do I take it to the next level? Go into their shows. Go to the community host meetings, shows, and just sit back and watch. That's another thing I wish. Well, I did do that a lot. I stalked a lot of rooms before I even went live. Sit back, watch some shows. Okay? I watch Winterwolf forever. I'm like, she's the plant person I want to watch. Okay? She does plants. But I'm like, how do I sell at a high volume? I'd go watch like Corey Mannix. He sells crap ton volume. Okay? So you have to be able to become, this is like the point. What's up, Soul? You have to become a student of whatnot, a student of your craft, a student of what you're going to do. And here's why I say this. Whether you've been to college or not, we all know about the gen eds, right? My specialty is plants and tissue culture with a little bit of vintage sprinkled in, right? I still had to get the gen eds of whatnot, okay? Think about it like that. You jump right into your category, you drop right into your major, right, for college, and you have none of the education beforehand. I mean, I would drown too. I wouldn't know what's up. Okay. Promotions versus community boosts versus followers. That could be a whole topic for itself, but I mean, I've done it for a test. Like, I've done my own boosted show, didn't see a difference. Bookmarks, like, I I've gone and bought promotions and other shows to see if it really works. Got a ton of bookmarks, right? Handful of people showed up. Okay, so don't be afraid to test this stuff for yourself. This is just my experience, what I've learned about it. Um, but yeah, just do some research yourself. Okay. Yeah. Right now, I currently have what is it? The $25 promotion, and I haven't even done it yet. I thought about doing it for this show, um, but the free one, whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, don't let me sway you one way or another. Try for some people, it works great. For me, it doesn't work for me. Okay, shipping is a nightmare to learn. It is, and custom packaging, yeah. But here's the other thing, okay? If you're like brand new to Whatnot and you've like done your research on shipping and whatever, um, I tell everybody this. I tell everybody this. Find your friend. You can't do your spouse that lives in the same household because you can't ship to them. Find a friend that will invest $5 or $10 into you. Whatever. Sell a plant, right? If I was gonna sell a plant, I know Cat K. I'll be like, Cat K, will you go buy like a $5 plant so I can practice shipping on it? Like, don't be afraid to do that. I did that with tissue culture. Man, I had a batch of tissue culture that shipped terrible. That's another reason I haven't shipped like the glass vials for a while. Maybe it was a Syngonium, but they shipped terrible. I'm trying to remember what they ended up not they ended up melting, but it might have also been the batch and the mixture. Yeah. Um but it was only to like California. It was only to California. It's a seller on here, super nice. And she was like, "Yo, they melted." I was like, "Shit. Okay." I was like, would you be willing to let me send you like 5 tissue culture and I'm gonna redo some packaging on it and give me feedback on what it is, like how it shows up, because they're in California, and like Maine and New York are the longest treks for me for shipping. So we did. I switched up the packaging, sent it to her, arrived great. What's up, Chrislyn? Well, Haley, what's up? Welcome in, guys. So like everybody, I feel sorry. I squirreled there for a second. Everybody is so worried about those bad reviews when you're a new seller. Okay, and I get it. But if you take the initiative to reach out to somebody like I did her, luckily she was a friend. I don't know how it would have gone if she wasn't like a regular buyer and stuff like that. But turn those negatives into opportunities, right? Like packaging sucked. Jamie knows. I didn't ship Corms for a long time because I had like, well, I think it was just hers, but hers melted en route. I'm not ashamed to admit it, okay? Because I fuck up, and so she was super nice, and I was like, all right, when I get some new stuff, let me do different shipping on it, and that's what we did. So don't be afraid to turn those negatives into opportunities. Okay. I'm gonna go back through some of these chats. Plant can't swim. Yeah, the heat. But what was crazy, I don't know if you're still in here. What was crazy about that is same batch of tissue cultures, right? Same batch. Tanjar, what's up? Welcome in, my good sir. Two tissue cultures, same batch, went to two different parts of the country. One melted, one arrived fine. So sometimes it's just gonna fucking happen, okay? But you can't get so hung up on that you can't move forward from it, okay? That first bad review is gonna be like vinegar in your mouth, right? But Winter Wolf will tell you, I got my first like 4.8 review months ago, and I was like, shit. Yeah. I was like, shit. And then I was talking to somebody else, and they're like, bury that review in positive reviews, right? That 1-star review is going to be up there for a while. It's going to suck. It's going to suck a lot. But just keep working. You just got, yeah. There are. All right. Let me see what else I got. I got a couple notes. You guys know I always got notes because I'm always learning during the day. It does. It makes you look. I what was it? I have pretty big packages going out this week, or that went out this week. And like, look, we love it as a seller. And I'm speaking for me. I love it when people message me and are like, hey Kim, and that's all I see. Whatever, get out of here. That's all I see. Plants arrived great. How many of you have a panic attack when you see that name come across and you know a plant was just delivered? Like, I'm like looking away from my phone. I don't want to see it. I'm like squinty eyed. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Plants arrived great. Okay. Like, it happens. I try. I still do it. I still do it. Still to this day. It's too much of a mind game. It is. Text me on Instagram or something, or on Facebook. Not on here. I'm just playing. You're funny this morning. I love it. Duh. They didn't leave me a 1-star review. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Um Anybody have any questions or topics they want to discuss? I don't get deep into shipping, okay? Like the actual profile. What's up, Sue? Because I'm serious. Like, try shipping with a friend. If you're not, if you don't have anybody, reach out to me. I'll buy some from your shop, okay? Like, try shipping on a friend if it paralyzes you to the point that you won't even get on, okay? Right? Just do it. Yeah. That's another great topic. Oh, that's awesome, Emerald. That's another great thing I wish I would have done before my corms melted to Jamie. Like way back when. Because it's hot. That's what we were talking about, seasons, right? Shipping in the summer is like, you have to become a student of your craft nonetheless. I wish I would have put corms in a box in my garage and left it for a week to see what would happen. So, but then I heard that from Tanjara in one of his shows after the fact. I was like, damn, that's a good idea. Twin Mama, welcome and thanks for joining. How are you doing? Bouncing back. All right. No questions? No questions? Oh, my internet. That is another thing. Spill, what's the idea? Oh, I don't have an idea. I just, things I wish I learned. I think I had too wet a moss, to be fair, on that first round, so. South Texas Heat. Stay off whatnot. That is a great, that is a great segue. I didn't have this topic written down, but things I wish I would have known. That's what this show is about. Okay. I have to think about how to say this. Okay. I have to think about how to say this without, like, it's not geared towards anybody. I'm not saying anything. Yeah, givvies do not equal sales. I'm going to write that down. We'll talk about that next. Because you guys know I didn't do givvies forever. Givvies equal, yeah, sales. Guys, look, okay? This is a social app. It's a social app, okay? I thought, and I'll speak about myself, I thought I could bring the way I sell on Facebook, all those other places to Whatnot. Okay? I'm like, oh, everybody's so sweet and nice on here. Okay. They are. They are very helpful. They're very informative. I've learned a ton. But at the end of the day, if you're serious about this, you are a business at the end of the day. Okay? Y'all know I started on here. I didn't know what I wanted to do and stuff like that. But if you've been on my journey, like you can see a direct correlation from when I first started to the way I do things now. Okay? Because in order for you to take me seriously as a business, I got to take myself seriously as a business. Okay? I love the relationships I have made. There's a lot of great people I talk to, probably on a weekly or daily basis in here. Okay? But at the end of the day, you are the only one that can control the way you run your business. Okay? You can look, you can learn, you can window shop from everybody else. But the fakeness, I use the term fakeness loosely. Not that anybody's fake. That's probably not a good word to use. You can only be a clown for so long till you gotta take off the mask. Okay? Right? Like you can only do something you don't enjoy for so long. Get out of here. You I know. You know what I mean? I don't want to alienate anybody, and I hope you guys know me good enough by now to know that, right? Like if I come on here and I try to I'm like I see like Snooty's Closet. I'm going to use her. Great person. What's up, Heather P? Great person, been on her raid trains, a good time. Sells clothes like a mother, okay? Like a mother trucker. And I could easily look at her and be like, oh, I want to sell clothes like Snooty. Okay? But would you be truthfully, would you guys buy clothes from me? Because I'm not passionate about clothes. Like, I'll get dressed up like here. Okay? You can only try to sell what you're not passionate about for so long. And if you just sell random stuff and that's what you enjoy, like garage sale stuff, I love going into those shows, okay? I love going to the Brass Armadillo. That's a big vintage mall in my area, and I love doing that. Okay? But I mean, you guys would see right through me if I was trying to sell clothes. With that, I do have shorts on. I got shorts on. Sarah, it is good to see you. Okay? Great example, Anthurium, like personal thing. I love Anthurium. Okay, I have like a handful of Anthurium. I I will sell them, but I'll be straight up. I don't know that much about them. Okay, like some of the people, like I know Cat Cat. I saw you come through. Any other Anthurium people? Okay, they know their shit about Anthurium. I don't know shit about it. Tube socks. You are on one today, Tange. Got to. Yeah, see, like I don't know anything about Anthurium. I don't know anything about Hoyas. But you guys have been here long enough that you guys would see right through me if I was like this. I'm like, here's a Hoya. I don't know what kind of Hoya it is, but it's a Hoya nonetheless. Buy it from me. Okay? Or I'll be like, look, this is a Monstera Tycon I currently have in tissue culture multiplying. She looks stunning. I could tell you everything about her, right? People see through that. Crowned in Ivy, what is up? How are you? I left the Viking horn behind the Viking sheet. I forgot to bring it out today. I did. Wise Cactus, welcome in. Oh, Joe. Joe, you brought Joe in. What is up, guys? Welcome in. This is our morning talk show. I'm Kimmy D. I sell tissue culture plants and other plants with a little vintage sprinkled in. So, you brought your folks to a talk show. We're talking about what I wish I would have known when I started Whatnot. But Wise Cactus, I'm assuming I know what you sell. Drop what you sell, when your next show is. And if you're not following or bookmarking Wise Cactus Show, go over there, bookmark a couple shows, and see if they're something you're all about. Pronouncing name. Oh, yes. Look. Art tomorrow? Like, what kind of art do you do? Painting? Sorry. Sweet. That'll be fun. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for bringing your people. Why is that? Oh, Wisconsin. Nice paintings. Okay. See, that's a perfect example. I am not a cactus person. I think I talked about it on my show Saturday. I don't know a damn thing about cactus or succulents. So if I try to sell you guys a succulent, you know something went wrong. Okay? There are people on here that do really good at that. I am not one of them. But I'm not afraid to tell you that either. Okay? Not afraid to tell you that either. What is a TC? Great question. No? Will you send that to me, Crowned and Ivy? Knowing what the fuck? Yes. Don't call it a play. Know what you're selling. Be passionate about what you're selling. Hold on. What is a TC? All right, let me get an example. Hold on. I'll give you the life form of a TC. Okay. TCs are just plants in bags grown in a lab. It's just a different way to propagate your plants. Okay? For me, I don't have a ton of space in here. So I have to do it on a smaller scale. So I'm like TCs in bags, plants in bags, okay? That's what we got here. And what you do with these is you take them out of the bag or the jar, okay? It's just growing media, like your rooting hormone and stuff like that, just on another scale. Yeah, Sue, I get it. TCs are a good example. Okay, but sorry. Okay, so TC in a bag, you take it out of this. I have a whole bunch acclimating in like a humidity dome, right? Put it in high humidity, and eventually you get a plant. This is an acclimated tissue culture plant, Burl Marx Flame. Okay. Took off the chlorophyll. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, sweet, wise cactus. Yeah, no problem. I hate to tell people to go to YouTube, but if you've never acclimated one, just go to YouTube. You can come in these talk shows, but it really is, they're not complicated, okay? You literally take it out of a bag, okay? You put it in, I put mine in brownie plugs, okay? Don't come for me. Don't come for me, guys. I know how you feel about brownie plugs sometimes, but I don't have a lot of space. So, I take it, I acclimate it in 98% humidity for however long. Wow, okay. What's up, SC Perry? Welcome in. Okay, and eventually, like this guy is in a brownie plug. I put it in a brownie plug, surrounded it with the substrate I want to grow it in for the rest of its life, and you get a plant. Okay, it's a great way to get higher end plants. If it doesn't matter if it where it comes from, if it doesn't matter to you, it's a great way to get high end plants at cheaper prices. Okay. Um, like this guy. Like you could look at my shop. Okay, this guy is the Sandariana bull, but he's variegated. Okay. I think I have him in my shop for like 70 bucks. Okay. A full grown one of these, I think a corm goes for 100. Okay. So they are a little more sensitive because they're like new babies. Okay. It's like babies coming out of a womb. Okay. Sorry, guys. Go with me. It's a brand new baby. Okay. Just came out of the bag. Its mother. Okay. You got a brand new baby you just birthed. Are you going to take that baby to the airport and expose it to all the germs of the world? I don't think so. You're going to let it build its immune system, give it its shots, and then take it out in the world. Okay? That's like the real world version of this. So, and because I want to be like educated on what I do, like this guy is currently in multiplication media. Okay, this is a Monstera full mint. We'll see what happens. Okay. I will say some of the albos have given me the biggest issues, but the Arias have been really cool. Okay. I can show you an alocasia right now. So this is alocasia longiloba. I know it's hard to see with my ring light. Okay, it's really hard. But essentially, she grows corms, right? She grows corms. We subculture those corms, grow out those corms. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And do it that way. It's just another way of propagating. Sometimes it's faster than regular propagation. Sometimes it's slow as molasses. Okay. Sorry, my humidifier. Um, it like is possessed now, and I try to set the timer. I try to set the timer on it, and it keeps trying to reset itself. I had to get a new one. CG Boomerang, welcome in. Brittany, how are you? Okay. Any other questions on tissue culture? Why we're on that topic? Why I get more coffee? Look, who doesn't love an on fleek coffee cup? All right. So What else do I wish I knew when I started Whatnot? If you're going to do a show, if you're not good at improv, okay, have a plan. Have a plan for your show, okay? Set a goal for your show. I set goals for my shows. I set plans for my shows. Um, if you're a newer seller and you struggle with seeing that dollar figure, don't set a monetary goal. Set a different goal. Like one of my goals for me is to run my whole tray. If you guys were in my Saturday show, okay? Saturday show. I had planned that show for weeks. Okay? I had a plan. I was going to dress up. I was going to run the tray of plants. And that was my goal. I was like, it's going to be the biggest show I have ever had. Because I had a plan. Show up to that show. The max people I had in that room at any given time was 12. 12. Okay, some people would look at that and be like, that is a low number. But let me tell you, that was the one of the top 3 shows in, I don't talk about money, but in gross revenue that I have ever had. 12 people. I think we hovered between 9 and 12. So it is not always the size of the room. It is the people in it. That horn was awesome. But look, I had a plan. I had a plan for that show because I had been in other people's shows, listening to them, and they're just talking real. Like, I like to go watch community group where the people are talking real, and I feel like they touch my soul sometimes. I'm like, damn. You go into a show, they make you question yourself and what you're doing. Like, not in a bad way, just more of, am I doing the best that I can? Are you doing the best that you can? Or do you get on here and just like, you're like, all right, guys, what are you guys looking for? That was the Scare Kim show. What are you, like, what are you guys looking for? And then we sit in silence for 5 minutes, and then they're like, oh, I got this plant here. Anybody wants it? I'm going to run it for $2. Okay? Bam. Okay? Like, those are just boring to me. So I'm like, we're going to have a plan. I planned this for weeks, dressed up, did makeup, got the backdrop, got a Viking horn. Okay? And, like, oh, don't even get me started. Whatnot, like, glitched that day. I don't like to blame Whatnot, but it did. It glitched hard. Like, for those of you who were in there, it was like a disaster towards the second half. Okay? But I had a plan. We ran the plan. Whatnot glitched. Okay? Whatnot glitched. And then I ran everything else for like $3 at random pull. Best top 3 shows of my short Whatnot career. But it could have gone to disaster if I didn't have a plan. Okay? So just have a plan. You don't have to have huge goals or huge whatever you think a goal would be. Have measurable, attainable goals. I do. Like for that show, Cat K, I didn't care how quiet it got. I was going to run the first 4 rows at a reverse auction. I didn't care how it was going to go. That was my plan. Okay? And as long, like, or some people will be like, I have a tray. I'm going to run through my tray. That's my goal. Okay? Because it's really easy, I have found, to get really discouraged. Like, we all see it. Like, we have the number count. Okay? Number count drops. We're like, oh man. Or we like, oh man. Shop Happy was on it yesterday. She said something. It'll come to me in a minute. Okay? But I equated it to like that show on Saturday. I could have ran I think it's like a 50 cell tray. Okay. I could have ran a 50 cell tray. There you go. Set a time frame. Like I'm going to be on for 20 minutes. I'm going to be on for an hour. Okay. But like for that show, for example, I was going to run 20 plants. That was it. Okay. Yeah. Quality over quantity. And I have like 50 cell trays, right? So what I could have done is run that 50 cell tray, had the same like gross sales outcome, but didn't sell a lot of quantity. And I would have been like, damn, I didn't sell much. Cause truth be told, that's what happened Saturday. I got off the show. I was like, I thought it was a good show. Like I planned it all. I was like, I didn't have the turnout I thought I prepared for. But then I went back and looked at the numbers and I was like, I was laying down. We were sitting on the couch. I was talking to my wife and I was like, holy shit. That was one of the top 3 shows I've ever had. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I'm just saying I had a plan. I stuck to the plan. I thought the plan went to shit towards the end. And I was like so discouraged. But I kept going because I had that plan and I was going to stick to that plan no matter what. Okay? But that's where you also have to be able, like, you get on and you get more seasoned. You got to be able to read the room, right? Cat K was in there. I just pointed Cat K because I know she was there for like the whole show. If anybody else was, I appreciate it. But you could see the evolution of that show, right? I think we got the surprise sets for the Corms and it just wouldn't run. Like I kept hitting the button, got out, came back in, and I was like, shit, what do I do now? Like, this is what I'm thinking to myself. I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna run it. Sometimes you have to trust your audience because they had already bought. They had already bought, okay? And I knew the people that were in my show. And I'm like, I am going to run these corms come hell or high water, okay? I think I started them at $1 at that point because, like, I was just like, we're going to run them. I don't care what happens. And, like, you would not believe what happened. Like, if you can read the room, you know the people in the room, you know they're already buying from you. Trust your selling power. Shop Happy says that all the time. Trust your selling power and give people the opportunity to buy from you. Create the environment for them to buy in. Okay? Because if I would have not run those corms, like I would have never given the people the opportunity to buy them, and we sold them all. Okay, Dr. Begonia, what's up? What did I dress up as? I dressed up. Oh, sorry, as a Viking. I had like the makeup, the earrings. I had the war horn. I did. We had the entrance song. Like I went out for that show. I went out for that show. It was epic. But that's what I mean, like it's habit, right? You see the room count and you're like, damn, there's only 9 people in this room. Like you hear it all the time. Everybody comes into these shows and like, how do I get more people in my show? How do I keep people in my show? What do I do? Well, start with a plan and give people the opportunity to buy from you. Because if I never run it, you're never going to buy it. Okay? It's like when you're dating your spouse. In the very beginning, we're all nervous, right? We don't want to talk. But it's easy to forget now. But in the beginning, we were nervous. We were nervous with our spouse. We didn't want to call them anything. We didn't want to give them the opportunity to be our spouse. And yes, heartbreak sucks. Okay, heartbreak sucks. We don't need to get on that tangent, but you have to create the opportunity. You did, Joe. You had to make sure you were in the right place. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something different, right? Because I had run the shows, I'd been doing the same thing, and I'm like, I want to have fun with this one. I want to, like, one of my personal goals for like this quarter was to have more curated shows, not just get on here, be like, I have this plant, here's my plant, buy my plant, and not have a plan. Okay. So my goal was to have more curated shows. Now that what that means is I may not be able to have as many shows. Yeah, I usually my morning shows, but if you have a time, SC Perry, that you need, just shoot me a DM and I'll schedule a show around that. People are always asking about that, so I don't mind just popping one up. But I had a plan. And look, Winterwolf. I watched Winterwolf recently, and I could tell she shifted some of her practices. And I'm like, all right. It's like validation. Like you watch these people and you're like, okay, I'm not the only one seeing this. Okay, other people are seeing this, right? Like, look, I'll tell you right now. When I first started getting tissue cultures and importing them outside of doing my own, I had so much anxiety sitting on inventory that I would try to sell out in a week. Plus the supplier wasn't that great, so I didn't trust him to sit. But what I did that I didn't know I was doing is I would sell out in a week and then be like, what do I do now? Luckily for you guys, I like to talk a lot, so I had a plan. Like I was going to come on, do these talk shows, but I also want to sell and make money. So that comes back to that inventory management. I wish I did better. But that also goes to sourcing. Like my importer, I'll be on it, like it was crap the last two times. And I was like, I'm not going to sell, I'm going to grow out the rest of my Syngonium and I'm not going to sell anymore until I get a better quality because that's what matters. Nothing wrong with like Save Me TCs or stuff like that. You know, I got a lot of Save Me TCs that I'll grow out because I like them. Okay. But if I'm going to sell you a TC, I want it to be good quality. Okay. Make your descriptions and tags about what you're selling or doing. Yes, thumbnails. Poor Benet. Yeah. Yeah. And look, people love authenticity. The reason, like, I'm guilty of watching The Real Housewives because it's a train wreck sometimes. Okay? Sometimes people just want to see that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Okay? Because it's not. It's not. It's hard work, it's a grind. If you're serious about this platform and in business and selling and making money, it's not a get rich quick thing or anything like that. Like you have to grind it out sometimes. Exactly. Sometimes the Save Me TCs are the only ones we can afford at the time. Okay, but they grow the same. They grow the same. I bet my wife is the tech person. She hates it when I'm like, I need help. She like rolls her eyes, give me the whole head back look. But look, I totally squirreled there, but Saturday's show was awesome. It was awesome. I had fun. I was freaking exhausted after the fact, but it was fun. And I thought like I bombed it. Like, I'll be straight up with, I thought I bombed it. Because I was like, shit, I did. And it was like one of the best shows ever. Oh, it's okay. It was Saturday. And that's another thing. Like, my plan is to start doing, so that's part of my more curated shows, is to start incorporating stuff like that. Um, but that also, like, this is where consistency comes in. Like, you hear everybody say it. I learned that very early on. Consistency. Like, I tried every day, every time for like 2 or 3 weeks until I found one that generally stuck with me. And I would have never guessed Tuesday mornings ever in my life. But now, like, this is all I do. So when I go out of the norm and I do like a Saturday show to have more curated shows, like, it's almost like jumping to a new category. Like, you're probably going to start over to some extent. And you just have to know that. But you know what? If I stay consistent and show up like what, every other Saturday or whatever, like, people will start showing up for that. So, that I totally got off on the tangent there. It was a good show. It was fun. Mark Carr, welcome in. Oh yeah, Jimmy Bear. Jimmy Bear, cool name. Yeah, don't trauma dump on the chat, on your people. Like, if you don't feel like showing up, don't show up. Like, if you're just not feeling it that day, it's okay. There are other ways to be engaged. Okay, the best thing I ever learned, guys, I know I'm rambling there for a second. The best thing I ever learned, well, almost at an hour, um, is it kind of goes along with going outside your category. Okay? Exactly. Exactly. I still get nervous when I hit that start button. But I own it. I own that start button. I take possession of that start button. Okay? I was guilty. Like, all I did was I was all in the Plant People show. Okay? I was all in the Plant People show. That's the only category I was in for, like I would watch it, I would be in it, I would talk in it. But where, like, I feel like I really catapulted was I started to go into other people's other category shows when they were doing talk shows and just listen to them talk and see what they're about and be engaging in the chat. Like, I was like, I don't know what I thought. I was like, oh, I'm not big enough to be engaging in this massive sellers chat, right? I had that feeling. So I wouldn't even engage in the chat either. I would just watch and learn. What's up, Spooky? Oh, what's up, AB? Spooky. That cookie was great. I don't even know what to say. I didn't think it would work, but it worked. Okay? Um, what was I saying? Oh, other people's chat. So I just did it. Like, one day I was like, Kim, stop being a pansy. Start engaging in the chat. Okay? So I did. I wasn't like promoting my show. And look, when you guys are engaging in the chat, followers will come and they won't think you're an asshole either, most of the time. Okay? I could get into that topic. But I just started being engaging, like, oh, that really resonated with me, or stuff like that. Like, being authentic, right? But that started to build a following all on its own because I was authentic in those chats. I'm like, that really resonates with me. I appreciate you sharing how you feel about that. Or that was a hard truth for me. Like, I accept it. Okay? Walk the whatnot streets, as they say. Like, I guarantee you there's people going down right now, not even in the show, watching from the outside. You guys know that tile is active when you're watching, just like Facebook, when you're scrolling and it's got like a video and the video automatically starts playing. That's what happens. That's what happens. Okay? So people are watching. Yeah, modding's a good place. Modding, yes, modding is a good place. I'll leave it at that. To learn? Is that what you're saying? Sorry. Be careful. I'm no. Learn to engage. Yes. Yeah, and learn. Yeah, learn the way other mods do it. Learn how they're engaging. Right. Spooky's like, don't do it, Kim. Don't do it, Kim. I'm not. I'm not. I could take ownership of your show. Run your show the way you're gonna run your show, and just do it. Yeah, the engagement is huge. Oh, Gibbies. Gibbies, shoot. Yeah, Gibbies, sorry. Thanks for bringing me back around to that. Gibbies. You guys know if you've been on my journey, yeah, if you've been on my journey, like, I was like, I, everybody was like, you got to do dollar starts and you got to do giveaways. I'm like, I can't afford that shit right now. I'm just starting. Like, I'm buying inventory. Okay. Um, One guy that is like super amazing. I'm not gonna tag him. Green 13. He does a Sunday morning ramble show and other shows. Like, you guys should go in and just listen to that guy in the morning. He will tell you different ways to do stuff. Like, speaking of givvies, right? Like, a lot of people expect when they raid to do a givvy, right? Yeah, I like, when he wasn't there that one Sunday morning, I felt sorry. My AC kicked on. Hold on 1 second. He was talking about the way he does stuff, blunt and to the point. He is so blunt, but I appreciate that about him because it's easy to get lost in the social aspect of whatnot, and people will turn on you. You'll get to a certain level, be supportive, and then you're like, yo, where'd everybody go? Like, you got to that level when you get to that point. When you get to that point, you need to start seeking education from, like, when you get to that point that you feel you got a good foundation on whatnot, like all the ins and outs, and you wanna grow and expand. You gotta go into those other people's like shows. And the first time I went into a show, I was like, I don't even remember what I thought. I was like, he's just interesting to listen to because he's just funny about it. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't. He gives a shit, but he doesn't. I don't know if that makes sense. His ceiling is amazing, but he's very authentic. He's very truthful, and he'll tell you why he feels a certain way about something. And Gibbies was one of them. And I was like, as a newer seller, right? I would be like, I see everybody doing giveaways. I'm like, I need to do giveaways to get followers, to get people in my room. I did do a test for like 2 weeks, and I told you the guys the results of that. So now I'm not doing like any givvies to see how that works. Um, but he's like, I do something different. Like, I will run a product for $1 if somebody comes in. That gets you around two things, right? Like, you get your your shout out for your raid, you're doing something for the people that came in, and you're still selling. You're not giving away anything, right? Yeah, exactly. So I knew I didn't want to do that. So if you're somebody struggling right now, do I do giveaways? Do I do dollar starts? Um, I say try it out, see how it works with your audience, and then adjust. That's the other thing. Like you're never gonna know unless you try it. Um, I really like Green 13 again. He talks about like he does the whole mindset of the buyer or the buyer taking ownership of the product when they're bidding on it. So I really want to do a show like a $3 start show and run nothing but $3 stuff and see what happens. Okay? Yeah. Exactly. Like you could do it that way. Okay? There's so many different ways, guys. And the moral of the story is if you don't try it, you're never going to know. You're never going to know at all. But because I set that standard in the beginning. I wasn't going to do dollar starts and I didn't do giveaways. Maybe I didn't grow as fast or as big as other people, but that's not what I was about. I was about sustainability. And I know if I started out losing money, I was going to be in debt being on this platform. Okay, so I didn't start with that. Now, inadvertently, it's almost like a treat, right? I don't mean that bad. I just mean like it's almost like a treat for my buyers and like the people that are in here all the time. Like, I'm going to run this for $1. You guys know I don't do dollar starts. You're like, oh shit. So there's other. Yes, you can always lower, it's harder to raise. Now, I'm not alienating anybody who does dollar starts. Some people are very successful with that. But when I was starting out, I was very like nervous. Because like we got spouses too, right? Like she's like, "Are you going to lose money doing that?" Okay? Like that's where the reverse auction came in. Um Zoe's Treasures. That's where I got that from. I put it in my show notes. But there's also another aspect that comes with that. People don't really do reverse auctions. So there's the learning aspect. All that a reverse auction is like I had stuff listed in my shop. Yeah, I had stuff, look, and it's a slow burn. If you guys think you're going to get in it and like, it was a slow burn, wasn't it, Cat K? It was a slow burn. Um, but there's an art to it. I'm still learning it. But like you start something out at a high price, right? Like I have this, like I did it with these TCs, right? I started out at I don't even remember. Um $80, right? Drop an R in the chat if you want me to run this for $80. Okay? Then I'd sit and I'd wait. Because you gotta give people time to type. Okay? So I did that. And there was the awkward silence. But you got to be confident in it and be like, all right, $75. Drop an R in the chat for $75. Nobody drops anything, it's gone for the rest of the show. I'm not running it. Okay? What's up, Space Kitty? Welcome in. So, but that worked because I had a plan, right? Like you can't just jump on. You got to have curated stuff. In my opinion, this is my opinion. You got to I know. Where have you been? I miss you too. It's good to see you. Uh, you gotta have a plan. I wish. Okay, so it was a double-edged sword. I didn't put it out there that I was doing a reverse auction because I wanted that mysterious aspect of it, and also I didn't want anybody to do it before I did. Like straight up. because nobody has done that in the plant category. So it's brand new. So, like, sometimes you gotta hold stuff close to your vest. Like, I want to tell you my plan, but sometimes I can't tell you my plan. Okay? So, I, in not like telling people what I was doing, I I didn't give them the opportunity to ask questions prior to the show and get like build the following for that show that I thought I should have had. But since I'm self-reflective, I was like, how did I help people know this show was different? What, just customer appreciation show? Like, I don't say that flippantly. I just mean like that was the title of it with some mysterious picture. That probably wasn't engaging enough to be like, oh, what's this? What's this thing? So it was a double edged sword. But now that people have heard about it and know what it is, I can be like, all right, now I can put it on my show title because people know I've done it. Okay. I don't think it would work all the time, but I think for your higher end plants, like, right? Because if I have $100 plant, I ain't running it for $1, like straight up. I'm not. And I was like, that creates two things. That creates the auction style where you're going in reverse. People don't know when you're gonna pull the price or when you're gonna pull the item from the show. So it creates that auction mentality of FOMO missing out on it. Cause I mean, Cat K, I think I got in a cadence where I started doing it like 3 times and then pulling it. So I think I learned from that. I think I got in a cadence the longer it went. Um, and that's the other thing. You have to go back and watch your shows when you do new stuff and be like, what did I do? Right? Because somebody who knows me, who's in my show all the time, can be like, Kim, you got in a cadence. I knew at like the third price you were gonna pull it. That that doesn't help me. Like when I'm trying to sell it. It helps me to know the information, but it doesn't help me get the price I want for it. Sorry, my allergies are kicking my butt. Does that make sense? Sorry, guys. The moral of the story is have a plan. Have a plan. Walk the whatnot streets. Engage. Engage. Space Kitty, you missed the whole show. I'll do another show. I'll do another show. It probably won't be plants. Okay, so I am part I'll do this. We'll talk about this and then we'll kind of wrap up. You guys, unless you guys got questions, I like to do the quote of the day and then we'll raid on to somebody. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Son of a gun. Um it'll come to me in a second. Do you guys have any questions? Oh, it probably won't be plants. I'm part of Shop Happy's Happy Habits Challenge. If you go down, you'll see the yellow thumbnails. And it's part of an accountability challenge. And 2 of the days, it's like meet me Monday, test it out Tuesday, test it out Tuesday. I'm doing something. Oh, thank you for your purchase from the shop. Thank you, Space Kitty. Um, It's like test it out Tuesday. So I probably won't do a Tuesday morning show. I'll probably do like some vintage stuff at night. And then sales show Sunday. I'm not 100% sure what all I'm going to sell, but that's kind of what's coming down the pipe. It's going to be fun. And that's the other thing. Like, if you're going to do something outside your category and do something different, be intentional about it. Okay? Just be intentional. My next show. I can't remember if so I'm going to my brother's this weekend. We leave Thursday, come back Tuesday. I just told y'all when my house will be open. Um, so I may do a show like Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm still selling plants. I'm still selling plants. Definitely. Um, but I'm trying to also sprinkle in some of that other stuff, right? Because where I'm at, even the tropical plant is seasonal. So I sprinkle in some of the other stuff that I enjoy, which is vintage stuff. And I'll change the thumbnail so you guys will know when I'm just doing stuff like that. But you can always shop the bin. My current stock I usually have preloaded in the buy now, especially for these talk shows. I am going to do like a 5-pack bundle of acclimated tissue culture. Like there'll be common tissue culture like syngonium, philodendron, stuff like that. But I'm gonna do like, because we're getting close to the holidays, I'm gonna do like a 5-pack of Grower's Choice, common, to acclimated tissue culture. Maybe a couple alocasia like Lauterbach ornaments sprinkled in, but it'll be more your common stuff. Okay, I'm not selling that high end stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no, plants are not going anywhere. I'm trying to sprinkle in a bunch of like the stuff I enjoy coming out of plant season where I'm at. That's the other thing. Like Whatnot sometimes can create a false. I don't want to say false. Maybe false is a false sense of what the market is doing, right? This is why it's important to understand your area, the places you're shipping to, because, right, I'm not in California or Florida. I can't sell plants year round. You also have to think when you're shipping plants, if I ship plants north during the winter, the Northeast, like that makes me nervous because it's cold, right? So I'm just being newer, being this is my first year. I don't want to take that risk and like bottom out my business by having a bunch of stuff go wrong over the winter. I'd rather make a plan, have a plan, sell what I got, and then come back next season with new stuff. You know what I mean? But no, we'll still be doing the talk shows, plant shows. We're doing a terrarium build with Sarah Syngonium. So we're still going to be plant focused. Just some of these like opportunities like the Happy Habits Challenge. It's pushing me outside of my comfort zone because it's easy to get comfortable and it's forcing me to do stuff that I also enjoy, but I don't like people know me for tissue cultures, right? Because I created that environment. So now I have to create the sprinkled in environment. Now I have to, if you look at my shop, you can see like I got salt and pepper shakers. I have ornaments and stuff like that. So, any other questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? Does anybody have a final thought they'd like to share? A question I missed? Let me find somebody to read. Don't leave. We're going to do the quote of the day. You guys like the quote of the day. I like the quote of the day. I should listen to my own quotes of the day. I should. All right, hold on. I appreciate you, Joe. Joe, I did. That's another thing. Like, be proactive with your customers. Like yesterday, I had to reach out to Joe because like Whatnot wouldn't let me bundle something, so I had to ship something like with the ground label, but it's going to be an empty envelope because everything's going to be in the priority box. Um, and I'm like, dude, you're going to get an empty envelope. This is why. So just be proactive sometimes. Okay, do you guys want plants or holiday decor? Plants or holiday decor? Or Funko? Somebody's on. Thank you. It did too. It was funny. It was funny. Storage units, fine. Plants. Arrow roots. All right, we got Amy Judges and we got K Dubs. K-Dub's rated me already. Have you guys been in K-Dub's show yet? I appreciate that, Space. All right, here, we'll do K-Dub's show. I am a mod for her. All right, quote of the day, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. All right, you know I got my notebook of stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, this one hit me the other day. Stop being ashamed of how many times you've fallen. Start being proud of how many times you've gotten up. Okay? Stop being ashamed of how many times you've fallen. Start being proud of how many times you've gotten up. Guys, thank you so much. If you bought from me, I'll ship it out right after the show. Thank you. Hang out in her show. She's a good time. Catch y'all later.